Don't forget why we're doing this.
Something isn't right. First thing, that needs to come down.
Why wasn't there any corn in the field?
Stuff never grew. Mom purchased this land for God knows what reason.
I've never liked scarecrows.
This isn't any old scarecrow.
Locals say that the land is cursed. Someone is out here. Gus, it's okay. It's just a dwarf. It's a squirrel.
What do you think that thing is?
This is Kate Sandison, horror actress based in the UK. Please check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. They are awesome.
Hello, everyone. My very special guest is an actress from the United Kingdom, Kate Sandison. Kate, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be here. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you very much. I've been following you for quite a while. Bunch of movies since 2020, obviously, with the horror films. That's where I got to know you from, with Nicola, right? And been watching you girls, ladies, actresses in movies that I really adore. A lot of people in America don't really know much about the films I'm talking about. Now, they are on YouTube, free to watch. A majority of them are. And I like to spread the word about your work and about the films over there because I've quite enjoyed them. I've seen quite a bit of them. And
that's good to hear.
There's still 8 million more to go yet. But you, my friends, I caught you in a couple movies through the years, but 2 movies that I caught you in that I really enjoyed was the Amityville Scarecrow 1 and 2.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Making those films.
We'll talk about that briefly, but I want to talk about a film that you're in. Now, I think Nicola was in it too, was Medusa, Beauty is the Beast in 2020. You played a cult member. Now, That's right. Is that your first time with the company that we're talking about?
No, funnily enough, my first part with them was it was a thriller, not a horror film. It was a thriller called The Gardener, and it was it was finally released by Lionsgate. And then I was in Bats: The Awakening and the Medusa film. Scott was very, very happy about Medusa. He just loved the script, passionate about it, and he asked a number of actresses that he knew to just come along and be the cult, kind of as a bit of fun, because we had the flaming torches, and it was a nice day. It was late. It was a late one, but it was just fun. And Scott asked us to come along and be in the cult, so we were all happy to do that, and it was lovely. And Nicole, she had a big role in Medusa as the kind of brothel madam.
Yes.
And she's such a lovely person. It's completely against her type. But she had a wonderful role, and I just had that little part. But it was nice, lovely to be there. And but it was comparatively a small part for me to do for Scott.
Now, you mentioned about a small part. I'm an actor also in movies and a voice actor as well. And, small parts are just as good as the big parts. And I say that because the part that you were in, I noticed you. And you see what I mean? I noticed you from there on. And certain actresses, I like all kinds, obviously, but the ones that are in my age group is the ones that I really tend to attach myself to because we had our life. We have plenty of experiences with life itself and movies itself. and to watch you play a mother, you know, I just adore you for what you've done.
I love playing a mom. Yeah.
And Nicola, I love her as well. But you're two of my favorites I've gotten to know on film so far that I really enjoy watching.
Well, I'm so thrilled that you noticed me in Medusa, because I think most people probably wouldn't have, especially. I mean, I enjoyed doing it, but it's interesting I stood out to you there. Gosh, that's really interesting. Well, that encourages me. If I have a small role, I'll feel more positive about it.
Well, you should be positive, because, you know, when we start talking about the Amityville franchise, there they'll get to know more about you, the ones who do watch it.
Yes.
It just, the way you perform, you know, it's like watching my mother, and that's not a slam, because you had that roll down pretty good. You and your sister, great tag team there. I thought that was a great, you know, going from the first film to your relationship in the second film about the campsite.
That was fantastic. Yeah, that was super.
You're also in a film called Bats in 2021 that I've noticed you in.
Yes, yes, I was a grandma in that one.
Yeah, so that was more like your first creature feature. Am I correct?
You're right. Yes, yes. The part I played was going to be played by a male actor. He was going to be a grandpa, and I think COVID was just starting to take off. And I must say, I was so busy, I hadn't really paid much attention. But anyway, he felt unsafe to come and film his role. So Scott, having met me on The Gardener, suddenly phoned up and said, could I come onto location for a week and play this part as a grandmother? And they'd just alter the role. And I was thrilled. I said, sure, that's great. And I got there, and it was a fantastic chance. So that gentleman, he lost the role, but I gained it. So that was super. And then on the last day of filming, literally that last day, the country was closed down into lockdown. We all had to go home, and they had just got the last scene in the can, basically filming overnight, and we just all had to go home in the morning. So it was quite dramatic in a way.
Yeah, but you know what? You played Georgie King, by the way, for the listeners. Yes. I love Scott's films. I mean, he puts them out there. You know, it's kind of funny, though. Any other filmmaker that would put that many films out, you tend to lose quality. Yes. But it seems to me like majority of the ones that he's done, the quality is great. The acting was great. You're also in a film that I've seen both of them, Conjuring the Genie. Conjuring the Genie, I thought, was one of the most unique films that I've seen, because, you know, he's not afraid to put a person in costume. You know, no, it doesn't matter how it might seem funny to some people. It might seem weird to some people, but me, I enjoy it because he takes a risk. He does it. The film gets made. ITN's picking up his films. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
That must say something. You know?
Yes, absolutely. There is a high quality. I mean, the interesting thing about Conjuring the Genie was that costume came from Los Angeles, and partly because of COVID, it was held up in customs, and it was very anxious for Scott and for everyone in the movie, because we didn't know if the costume would get there in time for all the location shoots that had been booked. And I think it just did arrive, and it was held up in customs, and it was just a real nail biter. And many things in Conjuring with the Genie, I think Scott would agree, just seemed to be down to the last second, and they would work out. But I agree. I think Scott picks people who are extremely passionate about what they do and want to work hard and get the job done. He's very, very professional, and you always feel confident that everything's really organized when he and Rebecca Matthews, his producing partner, and Reese, his other producing partner, when they work on things, it's all done really super, and you know, nothing is left in a slapdash way.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's also another one that I have not seen yet, but I have it. It's called Rise of the Mummy. What was your experience like in that?
Oh, that was another interesting thing, because Amanda and I appeared in Bats the Awakening together. And then basically the first day that film companies were allowed to go out and film again in the UK, Scott had prepared The Mummy Rising, and cast us, and we arranged all our costumes and stuff. It was all done over the internet. And we just, on that first day, we had to go to this location. It was a college that Scott had hired to just film Rise of the Mummy, and we just rehearsed at a distance as best we could. And the schedule was tight, but it was Bats was the last film I did before lockdown. Mummy was the first one I did when lockdown was lifted enough for us to film. So it was another stressful, kind of thrilling situation. And it was lovely to be back with my colleagues again and working together as a team again. So it was great.
I am so glad to hear that, because COVID, Nicola talked about it as well, about how COVID shut down. Of course, it shut down America too as well. One of the movies that I did watch that I really had to, it's a little bit different. It's called Cannibal Troll.
Yes.
Now, there's so many troll movies out there, from the 80s anyways. So this is quite different. And when I seen the troll, I said to myself again, dude, this guy does not care. He does what he wants to do. And it turns out to be a very entertaining film. Again, bravo to Scott. The guy, he just takes risks and chances and just makes these movies, and they turn out better than what you would think. And that's bravo to him. And the cast, he has the great cast in all of his movies. It's just amazing how he finds the talent that just works with him and just does it and puts it out. But Cannibal Troll, what was it like to play the character of Emma?
Well, Emma was another mother character. And I was really thrilled because, the rest of the actresses were young enough to be my daughter. So it was lovely to kind of be included, because in a lot of horror genre movies like that, it would only be about a group of very young women. That's kind of what a lot of them are like. And I understand it. But it was super to have that dynamic of being a mum, kind of a semi-mum to all of them a bit. Although she's a slightly short-sighted lady. I mean, she's a bit prejudiced. And that's a part of her character too. But they were all lovely young ladies, and it was a wonderful shoot. And I must say, I think that the locations were just beautiful. I remember it was in a heat wave, and the light and the sun in the scenes were just stunning. We also went to this really beautiful place called Taliston House, where we filmed the Troll's Lair, and it was kind of it's kind of yucky, but also there's some beauty about that setting. It's actually attractive to look at. It's interesting.
I love it. Now, I remember Nicola saying about how she always wanted to do a dinosaur movie. And you did one, Dinosaur Hotel.
Yes.
And I haven't seen them, but I have them. But there's quite a few of them. But what was now, for you, it's one thing to be in a creature feature film. It's another to be in a horror film. But to do a dinosaur film, what was your experience like?
Well, it was just thrilling that's another thing. Scott started using, is it AI? When other directors of that sort of budget probably wouldn't have had the guts to go for it, but he got these AI dinosaurs, and basically we obviously had to just imagine, or we were given marks to show us where the dinosaur was and to react to it and imagine it was there. So it was a simply wonderful experience as an actor to try and take yourself into that place, because it would normally just be a very high budget production that would do something like that. And there are more dinosaur films now, but at the time it was the first chance I'd ever had to even audition for something like that. So it was thrilling to, as an actress, have that journey. And it was again in lockdown. We went to a place in Yorkshire to film it. And it was super. It was absolutely super.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, what you just talked about is acting like the dinosaur is there. That's talent. To be able to pull that off. To really make it. He's done so many creature features.
I know. Yeah.
I'm attracted to his work because they're fun films.
It's this imagination and the passion, the imagination to see it and the passion to carry it through and make it work so well. So he is an amazing man. He's amazing.
He's a good actor too.
Yes, excellent actor.
The Winnie-the-Poohs. I've seen both of them. They're awesome. Now you're in a franchise. There's two of them that we talked about, but I want to talk about Amityville Scarecrow. You know, there's America has a bunch of Scarecrow movies, you know, over the years, and I get a kick out of Amityville Scarecrow because of Amityville, New York. You know, I have a friend that lives in Long Island, and we actually went to the Amityville house. You know,
wow, oh, that's kind of thrilling.
Yeah, it's changed over the years, and of course, Amityville not really true. You know, it's mostly like a made up story. The killings weren't, but you played Mary, one of the sisters who's bought this campsite with this in Amityville, and it was not what you expected it to be. I thought the Scarecrow in this movie was absolutely phenomenal. He was. You can make a Scarecrow any way you want, but he made it to where it wasn't unbelievable. Now, what I mean by is, you know how they overdo it, but the Scarecrow in here was cool. The storyline was cool. I loved you as Mary in here, and no problem. And of course, both movies are available to be watched on YouTube. They are, so everybody can see it. But this movie here was a movie that really brought Kate Sandison to the people's eye because you had a bigger role. You're actually one of the main leads. You're, you know, the one of the sisters, and you were, excuse my language, absolutely fucking brilliant in here. This is the movie that really brought Kate Sandison to my eyes. And do you want to talk to the listeners about your experience? We'll just do 1 and 2 since it's together. Your experiences like 1, and now 2 is a little bit different, but you had more confidence. How do I say this? I don't want to sound like a dick. You were phenomenal in the first one, but you really had the gusto, more confidence as one of the sisters in this movie to carry it forward.
Right.
So
that's good to hear. I'm so unobjective, you know, so your opinion is that's very good to hear.
So go ahead, tell us about your experiences with Amityville Scarecrow. You know, how it came about, and what was your feelings after the movie was made, and then going into the second one?
Well, I was really thrilled to be cast as Mary because although, you know, every part I played for Scott has been really interesting, and other horror movies I've done too, really interesting. But this was a substantial role, and I felt it was a role that had a big emotional range. A lot was asked of this woman because she's put into a situation that's unlikely to. It's just hard to encompass. I mean, it would be hard for anyone to encompass. There are multiple traumas and sad history and uncovering of really awful truths. So I felt this was a wonderful opportunity for me. I was so grateful for the chance. And when it was done, and I felt, without being conceited, that I had done good and I had found what I was looking for, I felt confident in myself as an actor that I never had before. I felt, well, you know, if I never did another role, I would feel that I did deliver with this one, and I really showed what I could do. So it was it kind of healed me in a way. You know, actors are on a journey. It's often quite a painful, long journey. There's a lot of turn downs. And then when you finally get something that works and you get an answer to a prayer, you know, and it means a lot. And then Scott brought us back for Amityville Scarecrow 2, and I think he would like to make 3, but at the moment it's not looking likely. But he has a whole storyline of what would happen in 3. So maybe one day it will be done. But it was lovely to come back and find that character again. I mean, again, very few actors would get that chance. So that was great. And then to work again with Alex, Lacey, my daughter, and Amanda, who played my sister. Of course, the other family members, well, I won't go into the story, but they were not in the second one. And then there were new characters as well. And it's taking off from where they've started to try and get the campsite going as a concern. And yes, it was just dipping back into those people's lives and making the join kind of thing. So it was great.
Yeah, because you went from, two siblings fighting to the second one where you're both badasses. And that's what I thought was really attractive in part 2 is you guys were badasses.
Oh,
and
yes.
That's what I loved, because you went through it the first time. And of course, the second one was different than the first one. So I'm not going to say too much more about that. But when you find out who the killer was, it was, I had a funny feeling just by the way he was acting early in the movie.
Yeah.
But I wasn't quite sure. But bravo to you. I think those two are the two films that you're going to be remembered mostly by right now. What I mean is,
I agree.
The role you did. And let's talk about another one I've not seen, but I'm going to watch. It's called Monsters of War. You played a character of Lynn. Monsters of War.
Yes. Oh, that was another quite substantial role for me. I was again playing a mum, and my son actually is interesting because he was the Scarecrow in the first Amityville movie. His name's Richard Lovell, and he's a wonderful actor. So he was the monster in that one, and then he was his own face is shown in Monsters of War. And again, it's kind of about dinosaurs and kind of fantasy, terrifying creatures that come up from the bowels of the earth, and they start to terrorize people. And it's like we're in a war, but against an enemy that we don't understand. So again, a wonderful chance as an actor to go into that world.
I love it. Now, you were in The Curse of Humpty Dumpty. I love the Humpty Dumpty franchise. Dr. Paulson. Phenomenal franchise.
Yes.
And Spider in the Attic.
That's a good one.
Let's talk about this. Now, I interviewed Nicola, then I actually watched this after I interviewed her. And again, you talk about CGI and all that, and how he made these spiders in this movie was brilliant.
I know.
Because it wasn't overdone. It was, you were awesome in it as well, of course.
I played a really bitchy character in that one. That was fun.
And I loved you. I love that character too.
Yes.
And then at the end of the movie, you see that gigantic spider or whatever. It's on YouTube. You can watch it there as well. So what was it like for you now to, you did a dinosaur, you did now you're doing a spider movie. And did you get creeped out at all?
Well, the house we were filming in is a place called Peaks Manor. And it's really beautiful because people go there to get married and stuff, though Scott hired it out to make the movie. But it also is a slightly eerie quality. It's kind of Jacobean looking. It's like Tudor looking. And there was a slightly odd atmosphere about it, I would say, when you were going at night to your room, because it had cottages in the ground that we were all living in as well. The wind whistling through the trees. It was a bit spooky. But that was great for the film, of course. And it was just, again, it was a really lovely to be, I think, Scott and Reese, they were co-directing and staying there with us, and just with a group of creative and cast that I knew well, and it was lovely. I mean, I had scenes with Nicole again, and as I was playing this really bitchy, larger than life journalist editor, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Now, you also played in 2 other dinosaur movies. I've seen both of them, Jurassic Island and Kingdom of the Dinosaurs.
That's right, yes.
Once again, he goes on a whim and does these dinosaur films, and they turned out very nice. And it's a cool storyline for both.
Yes, definitely. There is definitely. Yeah.
Now, here's one that you've done that it's called Croc. Now, I've seen every American crocodile movie, alligator movie, and I wanted to check out Croc. And what's cool about Croc is, once again, he goes on he just takes it all out there. He does not care. And to see that gigantic Croc, it's brilliant. You played Tabby. So now you went from dinosaur movies to Killer Scarecrow, to Killer Spiders. Now we have a Killer Crocodile. I mean,
Yes.
you've done quite a different. You have a variety of certain types of horror films. We also have a plastic surgeon that we're going to talk about too. That I absolutely fucking loved you in there. But Croc, what was your experience like in Croc?
Well, I mean, it was again like an actor's dream, as I'm sure you'll understand, Scott, when you're given the chance to create such a world that, I mean, it could happen, of course. I'm sure sometimes crocodiles have invaded human habitations and done damage, but it was just amazing to be able to tap into that hysteria and that. Because obviously, I won't give too much away by saying that the film starts off as a beautiful wedding and things kind of go downhill gradually. And so you're starting off playing this character who's at the happiest day of their life, and my son's getting married and it's all gorgeous and I have a lovely dress and everything. And then, gradually things start to go south. And for an actor, it was just another wonderful challenge that you're being pursued and tortured by this crocodile and just pretending it's there. And when I saw it in the end in the film, I mean, it was so realistic. It really did look amazing. Yeah.
And huge.
Yes.
I love it. Now, you also ventured into destruction films. I've seen Shockwaves.
Right, yes.
A very unique film. The ending was quite unique.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I'm not trying to repeat myself, but you've been in all different varieties.
Yes.
Now, how was it in your first destruction film as Shockwaves?
Well, I mean, it was filmed obviously in Scotland, and it was filmed on a road that's called James Bond Road because it's used by film companies a lot because the setting is so beautiful and you can do lots of car chases on it and stuff. And I was playing someone who has her driving along in her car, and she encounters the hero of the movie, and they have an exchange. And I'm in just a couple of scenes, but my character, I think it dies. She dies off in the earthquake, and again a super challenge. I wasn't there for very long, but it was amazing. And as I am Scottish, it was lovely just to be back in my own country. And I went to visit family afterwards, and the beauty of the mountains and the setting, it was just breathtaking. I mean, Scotland is so beautiful. And as a Scot, it never gets old. And as you say, being in a disaster film, it was just so lovely to be asked back to do more work with Scott. And in this beautiful James Bond Road, and even the place we stayed, I mean, the scenery was dazzling. People would pay so much money to have a vacation there, and we were staying there for our work. I mean, it was amazing.
I love it. Now, you went to another film that Jack Frost, Curse of Jack Frost. What's better than a Christmas movie with some snow and a killer?
Oh, I know. Yeah, because you're expecting everything to be all cozy and nice, and then it goes pear-shaped. No, it was great. And I think I had a rather unfortunate experience with some Christmas lights. No, it was, I mean, once again, an amazing opportunity for me as an actor. I loved bringing that to life, and that terror that the character I was playing felt. Mm-hmm. It was an actor's dream. I mean, it's Scott certainly gives you meaty roles to play, and no, it was just wonderful to be in it. And it was a beautiful little church that we filmed my scenes in. I think it's called St. Michael's Church, and it's partly an Airbnb now. But in order for the people who bought to make it into an Airbnb, they had to keep the church part there and to make it available for services once a week, which didn't happen when we were there. But it is still a real church, and they don't mind people filming there. So a lot of films are made in this church, and it's a beautiful little place. And the graveyard and the grounds round about it are also just charming. So I've been there to make a few films. I think we also made Conjuring the Genie there. It just looked completely different from the way it was dressed. But no, I mean, Jack Frost, it was absolutely super to have that chance, and to once again, I mean, I think I went to the set. I met the actress playing my daughter, the actor playing my husband, and we rehearsed. And I kind of tried to make my connection with them. And then we did the scenes, and I think they went really well, and we made a good bond with one another as actors in that short time, and it was super. And Steve Staley was playing Jack Frost, and it was lovely to work with him again. So I mean, I've got no grumbles. It was super.
I love it. That's what I like to hear. I mean, to have fun. The chemistry is very important, you know.
Yes. I think Scott helps himself by putting this team together that work well together and that share his ethos.
You got it. Now, a weird movie that I enjoyed.
Yes.
A demon plastic surgeon.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
You were one of the housemates. You lived there, and
yes,
you're all pretty much tricked into getting whatever you wanted, nose job, whatever. And I noticed you right away in a scene where everybody was sitting there, and I'm thinking, I wonder what Kate's going to get herself into.
Oh, I know.
You're just it's so adorable when you're sitting there. It's just you're so unique. It's just great. You know, you never know what you're going to get from Kate until you see Kate. And
thank you.
It shows your range of characters. You played Dorothy Cohen.
Yes.
And what was I can't remember her name now. The blonde, the demon, the girl. What was her name?
Oh, it's Danielle.
That's right, Danielle Harris. Danielle Lewis. Wait, Danielle. What's her last name?
Is it King?
Yeah. However, I've seen her in a bunch of movies as well, and she was great.
Amazing.
She was
very,
great.
very strong actor. Yes.
Sorry, Danielle, if you listen to the interview and I don't remember your name, I'm so sorry. I have so many names in my head right now. But what was your experience like at the Conjuring of the Plastic Surgeon?
Well, I really loved doing that because although I'm not old, you know, I am older than I used to be, and it is hard when you feel, you know, beauty is gradually slipping away from you, and you can no longer kind of pass as young. So this lady Dorothy Cohen, she simply longs to be beautiful and young again. I mean, they all do, but she really, really wishes she could go back in time, and I think she wants to have the liposuction. She feels she's a bit plump, and she wants to have a gym bod. So that's what she asks for. She maybe had a very good figure when she was young, and so again, it's an amazing place as an actor to take yourself to. It's like body horror that you've willingly submitted yourself to this procedure, which of course people do have, though I'm sure it is quite scary, even if it's all a legitimate, proper doctor and everything. And then it's unveiled to you that it's a trick. And it was just a wonderful scene to be able to play. And again, I had quite a lot of scenes as Dorothy. So you see a progression of her, you know, in the home, meeting this new organizer that Danielle played so well. And then, you know, the other nurse characters, and then thinking yourself into that sort of situation. If you were a lady in a home like this and not much going on and a bit lonely and everything, and just wishing that you were back in the past, you know, it was a very interesting role to think about and to think through. So, you know, it was, I mean, I like doing that scene where, you know, she has the horrible operation and stuff, and the whole movie is kind of a comedy horror because it is just kind of a bit pushing credulity a bit, but it's hilarious. I really like that film.
Yeah, Danielle Scott.
Danielle Scott, of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I looked it up. Dummy me has my first name, her last name. But anyways, she was amazing in there.
Yes,
I've seen her in a bunch of films as well. So that's a cool part. Like you mentioned earlier, a lot of films has like Sarah T. Cohen, and they're all in these movies. So the chemistry's already there. They just got to build a new chemistry in the characters. And I think that's what makes these movies successful, is because they know, majority of them know each other and how they work and it makes it a lot easier.
Yes. Yes.
Jack and Jill, you were in the second one, I'm assuming, right? Or the third? Jack and Jill.
Yes, I'm in the second one. Second one.
Yes. Now, I haven't seen them yet, but I have them. What was your experience like as May in Jack and Jill, The Hills of Hell?
Well, it was, it was another amazing time. Jack and Jill are these utterly demonic, kind of feral twins who've kind of brought themselves up in the wilds, and they're ruthless killers, and they've got a reason to feel angry with their lives, which I won't go into because that's part of the plot. Anyway, my character May was trying to find one of the people who went missing in the first film, and it's kind of a friend of their mom. And so we were filming in this beautiful cave on the coast. It was sort of near I can't remember, but it was near Canterbury, but it was like the beach area. And it was this beautiful cave that they dressed up with lanterns, and it was just eerie and kind of oddly beautiful looking. And we filmed there, and we also filmed at this campsite, which is called Puddle Dock Woods Campsite. And it's a place where Scott films a lot of his movies because it has countryside, it has trees, it has camping. And we did Amityville Scarecrow there, obviously, because it's a campsite. So we were at Puddle Dock Woods, which was familiar. And then we also were in these beautiful caves on the beach. And I play this person who is just terrorized out of their wits by Jack and Jill. And they're just running through the fields and, completely traumatized by what they've seen. And again, I hate to repeat myself, but it was just a fantastic experience as an actor to create that. And I think I remember the cameraman kind of gave me a high five after my death scene. And I felt, I think that went pretty well. So that was a really good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Any little thing, confidence is very important. And once you have that confidence, you can just do anything,
It means so much when, yeah.
You're in a franchise. I haven't seen any of them, but I think there's 5 now. There's a Tooth Fairy franchise.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
You played Zara. I haven't seen them, but again, I'm going to ask you, it's probably going to be the same answer, but what was the experience like in the Tooth Fairy?
Well, the Tooth Fairy was great because I was playing the head teacher of this school. It was a primary school, so for little kids. And basically, they've on the previous movie, the school, not my character, has gone on a trip, a sort of school camping trip. Well, going somewhere trip. They stayed over and they encountered the Tooth Fairy, and then one of the teachers comes back having been very traumatized by this experience. And in my installment, she's coming to terms with the terrible experience she had with the Tooth Fairy. And then my character is the headmistress. She's trying to support her and be nice. And there are some, again, a bit like The Plastic Surgeon. It's the same director, Louisa Warren. It's slightly comedy horror because there are some quite funny moments in it too. And I have this head teacher, for example. There's a party scene where they try and welcome back the teacher who's had this really rough time, and the Danny King and Steve Staley, they have a sort of flirtation, and I, as the head teacher, I'm looking at them great disapproval, and it is kind of funny because she's such a stuffed shirt. Although she's a nice person, she's very straight-laced, and they're being really quite naughty. I mean, I don't know if in any school teachers can behave like that, but it was just great. So there was this mixture of this comedy and this character whom I loved putting together, this head teacher, and then also the horror aspect of the Tooth Fairy attacking them all, and the carnage that she wreaks. And the Tooth Fairy is played by Samantha Cull, who's another wonderful actress whom I've worked with quite a bit in Scott's films. She's all covered up, but she was really super as the Tooth Fairy. But I mean, everybody was good, and it was just lovely to work on that. It was filmed in a really beautiful boys' school in a quite exclusive gated community in London. So everything was very beautiful and slightly unearthly looking. So wonderful locations, and it was super to be in it.
That's awesome, because I will do a binge watch. I'm going to watch them all and review them all, So stay tuned in the future for that. I'll post them on your wall when they are done. And the ones that you're in, of course.
Thank you.
No problem. Now there's 3 more, and there's 2 upcoming. But you mentioned earlier we talked about Medusa. You're also in one called Medusa's Venom in 2023.
That's right. Yes.
And you played Gabe's mum.
That's
what was
right.
Your experience like in that one?
Well, that was interesting because I was back in Puddle Dock Woods. There's a little kind of fairy tale cottage there, in amongst the campground, and they were filming there, and I filmed there in other movies as well, but they dressed it to look different. So I went there, and I think I had the same actor playing my husband as the one in Jack Frost. So that was interesting. Yes, and I was playing Gabe's mum, and I didn't actually have any scenes with the actor playing Gabe, though I'm sure he's a lovely person. But I just basically Gabe's parents arrive back from holiday, and they go into the house, and they're hit by the curse of Medusa. I won't say exactly what happens, but it doesn't look good for them. So that was really lovely. Just having that small role, because at the beginning of a horror movie, the opening scene, how they set the scene is very, very critical to whether people will carry on watching. So I was in that situation also with Jack Frost. So it's a big responsibility on you to try to really make that believable and work so that the audience wants to go and see the whole film, which I'm sure they would have done anyway. But if the first scene is flat or boring, it's going to be disastrous. So it was wonderful to have that challenge.
Nice. Now the next one is, I'm pretty sure it's on oh my god, Demon Host. You played Newt Woodhouse, and that is on Tubi, if I ain't mistaken, in America.
That sounds right. Yes.
So what was it like to, now when I saw the trailer of this movie, it's a really weird trailer. I mean, when I say weird, a good weird is you don't really know exactly what you're getting yourself into. I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, it's on Tubi. What was your experience like in Demon Host?
Well, Demon Host was another quite substantial role for me, and I was thrilled to get it. It's not made by Scott's company. It's made by another director, Ray Brady, who's also very prolific, but he makes slightly, he's a different style than Scott's, but I mean, I love them both. It was wonderful. Demon Host was hit by COVID. We'd got through about a third of the filming, and COVID lockdowns happened. And Ray and Anne really didn't want to film if there was any danger to the cast, so it took a very long time to finish. Some people, unfortunately, dropped out of the film, and we had to just alter the script and keep going without them. But in the end, I mean, I had some wonderful opportunities, some scenes, where like my husband dies in the film, and it's by physical means, not by a supernatural force. And I had to react to finding his body. And you're an actor, you'll know what a gift is a scene like that, to create that, to bring that to life. It was really amazing. So Ray gave me wonderful material. And also they're a deeply, deeply Christian family in it. So they're also kind of in that rabbit hole. I mean, I would say I'm a Christian person too, but they're very, very devout Christians and, do everything right. And so again, that was another fantastic challenge to step into those shoes. So I think Demon Host, you'll enjoy it. But it took a long time to finish, but very proud of it. Now it is finished. Nice.
And you're also one called Science Friction.
Yes. Science Friction, I think it's an anthology of horror shorts. And I played, I think it was more like a voice role. You voice roles as well. I was a voice role. I was doing this kind of creepy nursery rhyme it's about 5 young people who go into the woods on their bikes, and they come at a cropper, shall we say. So I just filmed that. I recorded that in Ray's studio at his house. And so I didn't have a very big role, but the short film, the one I took, basically the short film that I contributed to, it is super and it's worth seeing. They're all excellent shorts. So it's a portmanteau horror feature of different short stories.
Nice. Now you mentioned about short films. I played a character of Cephas. It's called the Hillbilly Horror Show.
Oh, wow.
It's like I'm a mumbler and Bo understands me, but we have it to where short films played in between our scenes. And the volume 1 is available to watch. You can go on YouTube and type in Hillbilly Horror Show Volume 1. You get a chance, watch that. I think you'll enjoy that. And you have 2 upcoming ones that Ouija movies, there's tons of them and all different types.
Yes.
But this one, if you could talk about it, it's in production, but it's called Ouija Castle. You play the character of Araya.
Yes, or maybe Iria. I can't remember how we pronounce. Yes. Well, that was, another superlative. It was filmed in a beautiful Scottish castle last summer, actually, and it should be coming out very, very shortly. It's a kind of horror fairy tale, kind of take on the Sleeping Beauty story, and I played a maid in the castle, and I had another lady, Lila Lasso, who was playing my fellow maid, and we become disturbed by things that are happening in the castle to the royal family, and so we confide in one another, and it's a supporting role, but it was a very good part, and I was just thrilled to do it. I had been my mum's carer for a few years before that, and it was simply wonderful to get back into acting again. That was the first thing I did after my poor mum went into a home. So yeah, it was fantastic to do it, and I'm really looking forward to it coming out.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it now too. So we'll see what happens. And then you have one called Calling the Tune. You play
yes. Well, that is set in the Second World War, and it's not supernatural or horror based, although obviously it features the Nazis in Germany, so it is horrifying, but based in completely on reality. It's actually been based on real life experiences in a small town in France that the director researched very in depth, because obviously the Nazis invaded France, they took over, and it was a game of cat and mouse. And Marie is someone who was part of the French resistance and spying for the resistance, but being alongside Nazis all the time. And so there's that thrilling kind of, as I say, cat and mouse feeling. Will they get caught? Won't they get caught? What's going to happen? And who's a traitor? Who's a good person? So it was beautifully filmed with wonderful period detail and production values, and wonderful to be in a period film. So that's another one that COVID interrupted, and it took a long time to finish, but another one that is, I'm sure, I'm dying to see it when it's finally done, and it looks amazing.
Nice. Yeah, you mentioned the gardener earlier. I know, and Nicole talked about the gardener because she's in it as well. And of course, the gardener, the guy that played the gardener, is the newer version of Charles Bronson.
That's right. Yes.
And it's amazing how much he looks like Charles Bronson. That's his shtick now. But I've seen a bunch of his films. What was it like to? This is more like an action film.
Yes.
What was your experience like in The Gardener?
Well, it was really super. I would say my biggest problem was I suffered a gunshot in The Gardener, and I was having difficulty falling the right way. And the stunt people were explaining to me, how I should do it just accurately, but I had to have a few goes, which for me is not normal because I try to always do everything right first time, but I hadn't understood how gunshots affect people. So they were explaining it to me. So I had to keep hitting the floor, but I did get it right eventually. And they were quite complimentary because they're really buffed up, fit guys. I mean, they know all about karate and martial arts and just everything like that. They stun me, these stunt people. So it was lovely to work with Bronzy. I was only there briefly. They did all my scenes just one after the other. And he was very nice, very courteous, lovely man. And Nicola, that's when I met her. Everyone in the cast was so nice to me. And I remember I finished my scenes and I was going home. And Scott said, well, you'll be back. I liked what you did. And I said, oh, that's really super. And went off feeling as happy as a bird. And then a few months later, indeed, Scott called me and asked me to do Bats: The Awakening. And so after that, I was in so many of his films and Rebecca's films, for which I'm so grateful. And Yes, it's funny. The first one I did with him was a thriller, and it was distributed by Lionsgate, which was just really thrilling. And yeah, Scott said he looked at quite a number of tapes for the role. I was playing this French housekeeper called Marie, and he looked at my tape and he said, "We found her." And that's the tape that introduced me to Scott and that started me on this absolutely amazing journey of working on so many of his films.
And tell you what, it's a great body of work. I mean, I know you, and I'm in America. So, that's not saying that anything bad about that, but, I just know who Kate Sandison. That's why I contacted you, because I really enjoy the Amityville Scarecrows. I thought that, again, that you were brilliant in it. I love the motherly and how you became a hard ass in the second one. I just really enjoyed that, how you made it complete, from your first journey to the final journey.
Yes.
I'd be dying to see part 3. Who knows? That could happen in the future. Who knows?
I would love to do part 3, and I think Scott would like to do it too, but he's got so much on his, he's just doing so much now, but who knows, it could suddenly happen. And thank you so much. It means so much to me, Scott, that you've seen my films and noted what I'm doing, because as you know, acting is a lonely business. You just trudge on and on for long periods of thinking, am I crazy? Is this going to work out? Whatever. And then it's so wonderful when things do suddenly click a bit, or, someone notices your work as you've done to me. So I'm really grateful.
Well, I'm grateful to have you on today. I just wanted to have a talk. I like to hear people's experiences, with films that I enjoyed. It's just nice to be able to talk to someone and say, hey, it was a great interview. I really enjoyed you. I'll post the interview, of course, but I do want to give you special thanks for coming on today. I really had a fun time.
Thank you. Me too. It's been really lovely, and I'm so chuffed that you've seen my films and enjoyed them and said so. So that's so kind. Thank you.
Not a problem. And I'm going to ask you to do one quick favor. I'll take out the interview. Would you like to do an intro for me?
Oh, sure. What do you want me to do?
Let's see. What can I have you say? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You can say, check out Gruesome Herzog.
Check out Gruesome Herzog.
Okay, say that back. Check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. There you go.
Check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews.
Perfect. I'll use that for a while on my reviews so they can hear your voice. You know what? Take that back. Let's do it again, but I want you to say your name so they got a name with a voice. Are you ready?
Yes.
So do you want to do the name first? This is actress Kate Sandison from UK, or how you want to say it, and just say, check out Gruesome Herzog's reviews and interviews. They are awesome. Yes.
This is Kate Sandison, a horror actress in the UK. Check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews. Check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. They are awesome.
Thank you, Kate. That's awesome. I'll edit it out.
Did I do it again, or did I flub that up a bit?
Well, if you want to do it again, go ahead.
Okay.
You're the actress.
So check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. Is that right?
Yep.
They're awesome. Yeah, okay. This is Kate Sandison, horror actress based in the UK. Please check out Gruesome Herzog's interviews and reviews. They are awesome.
Perfect. Beautiful. Kate, I want to say thanks again for having you come on. I know it's a good long ways journey from the UK to America, but you were phenomenal. I love your work. My nephew's sitting here now listening to you. I'll try to get him to watch some of your films as well. I think he'll like them. Again, it was great to have you on here.
Thank you so much, Scott. And I hope soon we can meet in person. Maybe if one of my films goes to a horror convention and you're there with a film of yours, we can finally meet up and have a coffee.
Yeah, or I can just make a trip to England and meet you there. And
that would be lovely. Yes, definitely.
All right, dear. Thank you very much for coming on. You are freaking amazing.
These kids just went missing. One by one, they just turn up dead on the cornfields.
I wasn't going to tell you. There's some murders on this farm. I just don't like the thought of everyone running off scared when they find out what happened here.
We killed him. It's over.
Even though they didn't find a body. I mean, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist.
Hello?
He's killed Cindy! We have gone to great lengths to make sure that this place is safe.